I'm Aaron Pott from Pott Wine, and welcome to Premier Napa Valley 2023!
Cabernet Sauvignon,
Cabernet Franc,
Chenin Blanc,
Petit Verdot,
Malbec,
Semillon, Tempranillo,
sparkling wines,
Viognier,
Sauvignon Blanc,
Chardonnay,
rosé styles,
Petit Verdot,
sparkling wine,
Bordello,
proprietary red blend,
Pinot Noir,
Pinot Noir,
Bracco, Zinfandel,
Malbec, and Syrah.
did I say Cab Franc?
Petit Syrah,
and a tiny bit of Muscat Canelli.
Chardonnay,
Cabernet Sauvignon,
Cabernet Sauvignon,
I think I might need to go back again.
and Bubbles.
Etc., Syrah, etc. Welcome to Premier Napa Valley 2023.
I'm doing great. Wonderful day in Napa Valley. We are lot number 70 in the Premier Napa Valley Wine Auction. And this is 100% Chenin Blanc. This is the fourth time we've presented Chenin Blanc at the Premier Napa Valley Wine Auction. And in its almost 30 years, it's the only time Chenin Blanc has appeared here. So this is from a very small vineyard up in the backside of Lake Hennessy, almost to Mountain, at about 1,200 foot elevation. I do this in collaboration with my son Reed. It's actually under his hands today. And this is from one of the 4 barrels we made. This is a single barrel of a Louis Latour Burgundian barrel that we bought new. So it's 100% new oak, which is a little extreme for Chenin Blanc, but this particular lot seemed to be able to meld into it really well. It's still working. You can still see there's a little bit of haze to it, but this will probably be bottled after Christmas of this year. www.langandreed.com, spelled out completely, no ampersand.
You know, I think making the picking call, making the pressing call, those are also very difficult decisions. When you get down to blending, that's the final decision, and yeah, you cannot mess that up. The pressing, the picking, you know, you're dealt what you're dealt, but you have final control of the blend. www.whitehalllane.com.
Jason, a pleasure meeting you.
Pleasure, Ray.
Our lot this year is the 21 John's Upper 7 Cabernet. It's the original block that my dad, John Shafer, planted back in the mid-70s. It was the block where our first Cabernet, the 78 Cab, came from, and which turned out to be the granddaddy of Hillside Select. So very special block for us, and the wine's beautiful. Website is ShaferVineyards.com. It's all there.
Cool. Doug, good seeing you. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
We're really excited. We're doing a special lot from here in Rutherford, right around the winery, with Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, and Merlot. It's a really exciting lot. It's got a little concrete fermentation, a little whole berry barrel fermentation, and a little of the oak upright. So, and then of course just one small barrel is finally assembled by Michael Scholz and Michel Roland, our 2 winemakers. Well, it's wonderful to have everyone back at the winery, and it's also, you know, as we just said, it's the Olympics of wine tasting today. Super happy to be here. Happy premiere. Our website is stsupery.com, STSUPERY.com.
Emma, good seeing you. Thank you.
See you. Thanks so much for coming.
It's all about enhancing and protecting Napa Valley, who we are, what we do as farmers, brand Napa Valley ourselves, and try to bring the word of what we do to everyone, so everyone knows about what Napa Valley is about. Website at St. Supery is www.stsupery.com. That's STSUPERY.com.
You did that very well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Ray.
So I've only been winemaker here at Pine Ridge for the last 2 vintages. So I'm really excited about what we're showing today, because this is the first vintage that I got the opportunity to oversee the vineyards from all the way from the dirt all the way to the glass. So I've been a winemaker for 25 vintages. I've primarily worked here in Napa. I've had the opportunity to work in Southern Hemisphere as well as overseas in Europe. But for me, Napa's home, and specifically the Stag's Leap District. I will tell you I'm biased. I'm the president of the Stags Leap District Wine Growers Association. So when I tell you that it's the single best 3 mile long by 1 mile wide plot of ground for Cabernet Sauvignon, I mean, there is some home cooking type of bias there. www.pineridgevineyards.com.
Josh, thanks very much.
I actually have to double check that.
Okay.
The only website you want to check right now is www.pineridgevineyards, that's vineyards plural.com.
And once again, keeping in mind he's not biased.
Not at all.
Well, as you know, we lost our winery back in 2017, October of 2017 with the fires, and we've been working on the rebuild ever since. So if everything goes well, we'll have a new winery here probably around October. Yeah, it's going to be great. New kind of cutting edge facility, and you know, the fire obviously was a big headwind for us, but the outcome we're going to make into something positive. Bianca French, who came aboard right after the fire, so that's one of the, I guess, the silver linings in this whole fire thing, is we ended up with a really good team. We brought in Bianca French, Celia Welsh, and Steve Matthias, and to really kind of steer the I guess the best way to put it is Signorello point 2 through the next couple, you know, hopefully decades of growth and expansion. The website itself is www.signorelloestate.com.
Great. I look forward to seeing your new winery, Ray. Thanks for taking the time.
Pleasure. Good to see you.
I'm new. I'm the Director of Growth and Investor Relations. And yeah, just started onboarding, and it's a great time so far. This morning we're pouring our 2014 Library Petite Syrah, and then our 2019 Petite Syrah, and then our lot Sauvignon Blanc. Our Sauvignon Blanc is really like our shining star, definitely what we're most known for, so we figured why not show off our most prized wine. Our website is cockrellwines.com, COQUEREL wines.com.
Lily, this was a real pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much.
It was great meeting you too. Thank you so much.
I think what we've found over the years at Titus is that we have a really loyal following of people that drink Petite Syrah. We've been making Petite Syrah since the mid-90s as a single bottled wine. But we also, you know, we talk to people about it, and we try to make ours not to be the really, you know, enamel-ripping, super tannic variety of Petite Syrah, so that it's a wine that people feel like they can kind of get into and really kind of like wrap their mind around. And it's in the kind of the normal range of tannin, but it's still a big, rich, full wine. And so I think in those kind of framing it that way, people can kind of relate to it more. And, you know, we talk about how we've grown it in California and at Titus Vineyards for going on 5-6 decades. Petite Syrah was planted on the property when they bought it back in 1969.
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. So our original property where the winery is over 40 acres, and it was primarily planted to Zinfandel, but all kinds of mixed blacks, and Petite Syrah was part of that. And so it's been a part of what we've done forever. For us, it's kind of just like introducing people to, like, you know, this is our living room. This is like, you know, this is part of what we do.
It's kind of like an old friend.
Exactly. People can come visit us at www.titusvineyards.com.
Great. Stephen, very good seeing you. Thank you.
Good to see you too, Ray. Thanks a lot.
A very good question. Can't really coerce people into it. I think the best way is getting it in their hands. So for us, ending the tasting with it, we'll taste them through Zin, Cab, Other, and Petite Syrah is something that turns heads. It's something that they're not necessarily expecting. And so even sometimes we'll pour it blind. You give them the glass and they don't know what's in it, and as soon as they taste it, it's just a moment. And it really draws them into it. I think it's just something that they may not be familiar with. Sometimes they think about Syrah too much, but once you kind of unfold the history, give them more of how it's tied into the history of California wine in general, they go, oh, okay, like I can give this grape a chance. ChaseCellars.com.
Brian, it was really a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ray.
Last time I was in here, I think it was an experimental winery. So yeah, to see this and all of the historic memorabilia is pretty cool too. I had to take a couple photos because on one of them there was an old sales sheet. I think it was from like 1960, and it was really hilarious. Because, of course, the three most expensive cases of wine that Louis Martini was making were all white wines. One of them was a Muscat-based white wine, and that was the most expensive at $12 a case. And then there was the Napa Cab at $9 a case.
If we could only buy $9 bottles, let alone $9 a case.
Yeah, no, times have changed. This is the vintage auction lot. This is not the barrel auction lot. This is a single case of the 2012 Cabernet Sauvignon. This was the estate Cabernet Sauvignon that we made in 2012. Spotswood.com, and that's SPOTTSWOODE.
I could see you searching for a moment there. Damn good seeing you.
Likewise, Ray. Always a pleasure.
It's not my first premiere, but yes, it's my first premiere as a winemaker.
So how does this experience feel to you?
I love it. I think it's, it shows the camaraderie in the community here in the Valley, and we're all here to support a great cause, and happy to share our wines with trade from around the world. And it's so nice to see, friends that I know, and then also winemakers that I've worked with before. It's always great to just catch up and taste everybody's wine. So right now we're at the Vintage Perspective tasting, and we're pouring our 2013 Stone Place Cabernet Sauvignon. So this wine is from one block on our property. It's our oldest vines. In 2013 they were 37 years old. It's all C-clone cab, and I think it just really showcases how well our wines mature with age. And then our premier lot for this year is our 2021 Goddess is the name of it. It's a Cab Franc blend. It's 80% Cabernet Franc Goddess clone, and then 20% Cabernet Sauvignon. Our website is crockerstarr.com, CROCKERSTARR.com.
You did that very well, Julie.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great to see you.
There's a great energy. I think you can feel it today, right? Everybody's excited to be present and back and celebrating Premier another year again. This year we're doing a 2021 Merlot. It's a block designated from Three Palms Vineyard. So it's block 5. It's my favorite block out at that ranch. 73 acres. It's kind of the back little corner of Three Palms. Super rocky, really intense, beautiful structure, a lot of minerality, but also a nice, gorgeous kind of fruit profile to kind of fill that in. Go to www.duckhorn.com. Cheers.
Renee, always love seeing you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Appreciate it. Enjoy Premier.
I am here with Trevor Durling. Trevor is a winemaker at Beaulieu or BV Vineyard. How are you doing?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Good. I said Vineyard. I should correct myself. It's actually Vineyards.
No, it's actually Vineyards.
Oh, it is Vineyard.
Right the first time.
I knew that. It's good that I can correct you.
Yeah, absolutely. So that came from, of course, that was the name that Georges de la Tour, our founder's wife, gave the property when she first set foot on the first vineyard. Quel Beaulieu. It's a huge honor, obviously, to be the steward of such a historic, amazing place. Some big shoes to fill, of course, but no, I've got an incredible team and incredible vineyards to work with. So we have a 5-case lot. It's called Peaks and Valleys. It's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a blend of Rutherford Valley floor, so Western Bench. About 80% of the blend comes from Rutherford. And the balance, the 20%, is Howell Mountain from Bancroft Vineyard. And that portion was actually fermented on the skins in small French oak barrels. So it's this really cool textural component. You have that, the power and the structure of the mountain fruit blended with that opulence and the roundness of the Rutherford Valley floor. It's quite unique. It's something that we haven't done before. www.bvwines.com.
Excellent. Pleasure meeting you, Trevor. Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much.
It's like old home week here.
Yeah.
Great time for people to come out during the winter. It's also a nicer, less busy time in Napa Valley for people to come out and visit. So we really appreciate everybody coming back to Premier Napa Valley. It's the 2012 Stagecoach Vineyard Zinfandel. And out of the 650 acres of Stagecoach Vineyard, there's 2 acres of Zinfandel, and we get them all. So we make a few hundred cases of Zinfandel from this vineyard that we've been making since 1999. It's a great location, and we're really fortunate to get it from that big rock pile up on the eastern hills. www.biale.com. That's BIALE.com.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ray.
Always good to run into fun people here at Premier. I'm here with Leslie Russell. How are you, Leslie?
I'm great, thank you. Good to see you again, Ray.
Good to see you too, and I should say, of course, of St. Helena Winery right here in St. Helena. Yeah, go ahead and think about that for a moment.
Funny that way, huh? A vintage lot this year, which is a 1-case lot of our 2010 Simpa Estate Cabernet Sauvignon. We have in the past done the 5-case lots at the barrel auction, which was fun too, but we make so little wine. Really, all I can afford now is 1 case. And I dug into the library, and it tastes really good, so I thought, perfect.
Let me see. You said dug into the library, and it tastes really good. You know, that's an awful job. Just to have to go into.
I had to go through some wines, you know. They were all good, but yeah.
Nice you threw yourself under the train for that one.
I know. It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do that, right? Yeah, www.sthelenawinery.com with a ST.
Very important to keep that in mind. Great wines. Leslie, good seeing you. Thank you.
It's so nice to see everybody back in person. It's so great to see so many old, new friends and everybody coming together today. We are lot number 201 right here for our perspective lot. So our auction lot is it's called 5.71 carats, which is representative of our single vineyard estate called Ed Cora, named after the 5.71 rare red diamond that was in the Smithsonian. It actually comes from Block 5 of the Ed Cora Vineyard, which is one of the best areas where our Cabernet grapes are grown. It's 100% Cabernet, and it's vinified in 100% new French oak, and it's made by our winemaker, Philip Titus. And today at Perspective, I actually pulled out an inaugural vintage library re-release, our 2013 10-year-old wine. We've been around for 10 years. This wine was made by our first winemaker, Denny Malbec, who is part of the Latour family. And so the label over here actually has DM, initials embossed for Denny Malbec. So this wine's showing really great, and we're proud to have it here. It comes in a 3-pack, so 3 bottles in a wood box, all handcrafted, and inside of it there are some write-ups about Denny Malbec, along with some tributes from Philip Titus and reflections on Denny from our current winemaker. You can visit us at acumenwine.com. That's singular, just acumen, ACUMENWINE.com.
This particular event today is the first time that we've done a retrospect tasting here at Napa Premier. So this particular event where I'm pouring today is featuring library wines. Many of the wines are wines that we've all sold out of, ourselves included. We're pouring our 2009 Eritas Petit Syrah from our first estate vineyard. It's our 2nd vintage we ever made. We have 7 cases left in the world, but we've decided to donate 1 to the auction today. This particular auction, one of the things that we're doing in the Napa Vintners now is we are supporting events that protect, enhance, and preserve the Napa Valley. And one of those projects, which I'm personally very connected to because we lost our home in the fire, is we're raising money to replant 4 million trees here in the Napa Valley. So I hope our wine auction lot goes well and brings in a lot of money and plants a lot of trees. AratasWine.com. ARATAS wine.com.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
How many premieres have you been to?
This is my 4th premiere with different companies. And the last 2 I did were actually, funny enough, I just poured the 13 Stone Place. That was the last time I came to premiere until last year. There are special lots of wine coming from everybody's cellars that are meant to contribute to building the Napa Valley and building presence here in the valley. And the key to that, building presence here in the Valley, is that we need more people to come and know who we are, not only by visiting, but through digital ads and through the actual online auctions. And 2021 sort of brings us back, like you mentioned, COVID. Now we're back in person and in full swing, and the last couple of days have been just amazing. Our website is www.crockerstarr.com. That's CROCKERSTARR.com.
Excellent. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. See you soon.
You will in a matter of seconds.
As a woman vintner who is also a celebrity, which I don't consider myself a celebrity, but I've been playing professional golf. This is my 28th year. I just got nominated for the World Golf Hall of Fame, so I didn't want people to have a perception of the wine as not being a fine wine because a celebrity makes it. So there's still a little bit of that stigma out there, and I'm working to change that. My toes are absolutely dipped in the water of wine, and well, that was kind of funny. Water, wine, and water. It was kind of like a biblical thing, but so this will be my last full year playing, I believe, and then I'll be focused 100% on wine stuff in 2024. So it's quite the thing. I fell in love with Napa Valley from the late 90s through the early 2000s when we had a tournament where we stayed in Yountville and drove to Vallejo right before harvest and just fell in love with it.
Wow.
So it was a top 30 in the world by invite-only event, and always right before harvest, so the valley was alive. It was electric, and my friends and I would play practice rounds and super early and go wine tasting, and I just had this amazing affinity for it, and then I started studying wine. So I love it. KerCellars.com.
That was really challenging.
It was really challenging. Yes, it's hailing. Welcome to Premier Napa Valley 2023, where it hails on you.
On the spot. This is real news.
We are one of the preview tastings for Premier Napa Valley auctions on Saturday. So today's Thursday. We have a lot of tasters just sort of milling and coming in and out. There's a lot of events going on today. So, but the enthusiasm level has been incredible, really incredible, and the wines are showing great, and people are ready to start upping those bids. They're great tasting wines, and nobody remembers the C word any longer because they're just happy to be back and ready to support our community and our wineries.
What was the C word?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Whatever that was, I don't know.
Kind of gotten out of my
mind. I had a number with it. It's really weird. Our web address is www.crockerstarr.com. That's CROCKERSTARR.com.
It's amazing how well you do that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam.
Ray rocks.
I'm here with one of my favorite winemakers, and gosh, I say that a lot, but you are very special, Benoit Duquette, and his wife, Nikki. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's a real pleasure. Are you helping out with Tierra Roja today?
I am. We also have our wine FEMA here. We do a wine from Beckstoffer Misery Hopper, so we're showing that in our co-lot that we're doing with Linda this year.
She's been practicing. She's better than me.
Yeah.
Better looking and better.
She's definitely better looking, no question about that.
To have the privilege to work with Linda, that been farming it since, I think she's been here since the 80s. The stories that come with it and a passion. Look, it doesn't get better than this. So we called it the baguette. Touquette the baguette, to a tribute to our son's Roman, 15 months old. So Linda thought that would be a good name for it and get people excited and laugh. Because at the end of the day, we make wine. It's serious, but we don't save life. And we did that co-venture. And we're excited. 21 vintage wine, shows some power, some elegance, and the beauty of the vintage that it was. So
www.tierraroja.com.
It's always great to be here for Premier, even in the rain, which is rare here.
Yeah. Rain, sleet, sun, a little of everything today.
Just as long as we don't have slaying of the firstborn, we'll be all right.
Yeah, well, then the bears come running out of the woods and things happen.
What we do is we put together a group of people in advance. So we create a portfolio of Premier Napa wines that we then work with our clients to provide to them. So the goal is not to have a lot of P&B wine sitting on our shelves. We do keep a little bit because we want to get to taste them in the future. Mm-hmm. Also, we want to introduce new people to P&B, and the best way to do that is to have some. But economically, our job is to really pass it through and provide them to our guests as quickly as possible. We have 4 stores in New Jersey, and we have a store in beautiful St. Helena, California. Gary'sWine.com.
I knew you'd like that. Gary.
I love it.
Thanks very much, man.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
I love this week. I'm pretty new with lithology, but I've been a part of Premier for the last 10 or so years. I used to work for Napa Vintners. I was heavily involved in Premier and seeing it happen, and it's awesome to have the trade here the way that they are this week and get to do tastings like this and see everybody. So our lot we're calling the Triple Threat. So there's sort of 3 elements 3 times over. So we source from Andy Beckstoffer's Tocolon, Dr. Crane, and Las Piedras. So there is wine from each of those. We get Cabernet Sauvignon, Cap Franc, and Petit Verdot from those vineyards. So there's 3 varieties. And then the 3 winemakers that brought that all together are Philippe Melka, Michel Roland, and Matt Sands, who's our winemaker. So that's the triple threat, kind of that classic, you can sing, dance, and act. We think it's a pretty special wine this year. www.lithology.wine.
Well, we've lived in the valley for 30 years and we have agricultural backgrounds, and it's pretty hard to be in Napa Valley and not enjoy the fruits of the valley. Wine, great food, and just, being part of this lifestyle. Napa Valley is so special in terms of agriculture, not only from the wine industry, but it's the mecca for the food industry, and it's really driving the culinary arts. Perfect marriage, with food and wine, and what an experience for so many visitors that come to the Napa Valley to experience great wine, beautiful vineyards to look at, and amazing food. FreedomEstateWine.com. Thank you so much.
It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, so it's going to be fun and it's going to be good. Yeah. So I'm putting today a 2021 Cabernet Franc from our estate vineyard. We are in Santa Elena, and it's 100% Cabernet Franc, new French oak. It's very fruity, very floral. It's sowing very well right now. There's few lots that are sowing Cabernet Franc. It's becoming very popular in the valley, so it's going to be as good as Cabernet Sauvignon very soon. So our website is www.ellersestate.com.
A lot of good seeing you. Thank you.
Good to see you too. Bye.
We're here at Premier Napa Valley, tasting some delicious, mostly 2021 Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignons. So this year we have a unique blend of 2 vineyards we work with. One out of the Stagecoach Vineyard, which is 50% of the blend, high elevation in the southeast corner of Napa Valley, just outside Atlas Peak. And then the other is a Valley Floor site out of the Stag's Leap District. We went through all our barrels, selected these, did many blend trials, and finally came up with something we think is absolutely delicious and very representative of the 21 vintage. BuenaVistaWinery.com is probably the best place to learn about us online, but please, when you get a chance, come out and visit us in Sonoma and Napa. We have beautiful sites, beautiful historic sites, and absolutely delicious wines. So cheers, everyone.
So John, Stacy, Mayan, and I super excited about the auction lot. 100% Beckstoffer Tocolon Cab. Let's see, where are we at? Well, that's, I think, enough. Mayan Kaczynski makes the wine. This is his first ever solo consulting project. Works for Philippe Melka, winemaker, amazing, has his own label, Lapel, off the chain. So we're super excited and look forward to raising money for this event. BrilliantMistakeWines.com.
All right, so I'm pouring a wine from the Brandlin Vineyard. It's up on Mount Veeder. It's an old historic vineyard that was planted in 1926 by Henry Brandlin, and his family farmed it up until 1998 when we purchased it, and we've been producing wines there for about 22 years now. This is 2021 Blue Shale Cabernet. So this is a single block of Cabernet with about 8% Malbec blended in. BrandlinEstate.com.
That was a really challenging one. Thanks very much, sir. Good seeing you again.
All right, thank you. Nice to see you too.
it's cold. We got a little snow up at the winery, so got some cool photos of that and drove down in the snow. We have a blend of 3 different blocks from Priest Ranch, 100% Cabernet, 100% Terranceau barrel. It's going to be aged about 26 months when all said and done. It's still in barrel now, but we love it. It's 3 of our favorite blocks. You can go to www.priestranchwines.com.
You have survived. You're still alive.
Yeah, yes I am.
Good to see you again. It's brand new adventure for us. We're making Cabernet Sauvignon, Sauvignon Blanc, and a Rosé that's to die for. And it's been a good ride, very good ride. Patent and a different patent wine related on each varietal. We have 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from a brand new Gamba barrel. It's my very favorite barrel. I went through and tasted each barrel in the lot, and I came up with one that was extraordinary, and very pleased with the way it showed up. So I think it'll be a popular wine. Patentwine.com. Yeah, it's just the way it sounds. Patent. And if you Google me, make sure you Google Tom Rinaldi Winemaker, okay? Not the other guy. You're quite welcome. My pleasure. Good seeing you.
So grow wine means to germinate in Swedish, and our logo is a mark of quality from the Swedish monarchy. So it's the 3 crowns. And then my husband grew up going to Sweden every summer. He's 100% Swedish. He's the first of his family born in Sweden. And he would go back in a tennis bag, being the youngest. He'd go back to Sweden every summer. And he would harvest the wild blueberries, harvest the wild mushrooms, harvest the crayfish from the lake. And that experience informed his early sense of place, right? Because you can only do that in a very small part of the world, similar to where the best grapes only grow in a very small part of the world. So our wine is 100% single vineyard, and the archipelago in Sweden is very similar to the single vineyards within the larger AVA that is Napa Valley. So it's cool parallels between the two. This project started in 2009, but we are growing it. And this is our first 2021 Howell Mountain Cabernet Sauvignon from the Polaris Vineyard. Beautiful red dirt. And this is our debut at Premier. Grow, G-R-O, wines.com.
Excellent. Molly, good seeing you.
Good to see you too. Thank you. Have a great premiere.
Croatian name.
You have too many vowels for a Croatian name.
No, it's good. It's not classical Croatian name, but it is Croatian. I was told by many people it's not Croatian name, but I guarantee you, we've been in Croatia for generations. Yes, so we made 10 cases of 21 Cabernet from our oldest Untitled vineyard, planted in '59. We call it Paradise Lot because George Yunt, pioneer who created Yountville, planted first grape vines in 1830s, and he thought Yountville was paradise. Also, my uncle, Mike Grgic, who is just turning 100 next month, his teacher, who came here in '50s on sabbatical, told him upon return to Yugoslavia that Napa is paradise. That's what brought my uncle here. www.Grgic-Hills, very simple. Or just Google Grgic-Hills, you'll find us.
That was the trickiest question of the day.
Yes, yes.
Ivo, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Grief Family Winery's been around for about 15 years, but in 2017 we brought on Philippe Melka and Mayan and his entire team, and this is our 3rd year at P&V. I am not family, I'm like family, but I've been with them for 4 years. So we made 5 cases of 2021 All-Estate Sauvignon Blanc. So we're in an area of Napa called Napa Valley, so we're just north of Carneros, just south of the Mayacamas, about 600 feet in elevation, and we have 17 acres of Sauvignon Blanc. So it spends about 18 months in French oak, still a barrel, and it will be bottled in about 2 months. All estate, very expressive, cool climate Sauvignon Blanc. www.grievewinery.com.
You've done that before.
Yeah, yes, I have, yeah.
Sarah, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. Yeah.
friend David Tate of Barnett Vineyards. How you doing, David?
Doing great. Absolutely great. It's good to have the big crowds back and have a full room again. The 21s are fantastic. That's what most people are showing here. It was about an average yield, but it was a phenomenal season. The wines I've tried of all my peers here have been fantastic so far. What we have on top of Spring Mountain is our Rattlesnake block. And we've taken that Rattlesnake, it's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon, very famous, it's our flagship. And we put 10% Petit Verdot into it to make it even bigger. So it's a monstrous wine, very dark, very tannic, but with a lot of power and concentration to it. BarnettVineyards.com. We make a lot of other wines. We make Chardonnay out of Carneros. We make a Pinot out of the Green Valley of the Russian River. Dry Creek Sauvignon Blanc, all single vineyard. And then the other ones that we make up on the estate are a Merlot Cab Franc, and we have a Spring Mountain Cab. But we have a good range of wines.
Very good, and you make darn good wines. Thank you for taking the time. Really good seeing you.
Yeah, enjoy the tasting.
Today I'm here with the one, the only, the fabulous Jean Huffliger.
Thank you so much, Ray. You did it. The first time in 29 years.
You are here today for the debate. Tell me about your auction lot.
Well, the auction lot is 21. First, it's the year after the F year, and so it's really important because a lot of people are just extremely happy about what they're doing just because they're doing it and able to do it. So I think that's the first really important thing. The second is we're doing 100% Cab Franc. It's a blend of To Kalon, Sleeping Lady, and Stagecoach. The reason for Cab Franc, we started in 2016 making Cab Franc because I think a lot of people got tired of these really juicy Cabernet Sauvignon and turned to Cab Franc, which is a varietal that has a little bit more spiciness and is much harder to vulgarize. But I think it's really the translation of what people want. And I think we're really truly seeing a shift from these juicy, blockbustery, sometimes sweet Cabernet Sauvignon people are tired of. And so a lot of people are taking Cab Franc as a replacement because it's more true to its varietal. www.jhwineconsulting.com.
Excellent. Jean, always good seeing you.
Pleasure to be here. So the lot I'm representing today is from BLACKBIRD Vineyards, and it's 97% Merlot and 3% Cabernet Franc. And I think it's the only Merlot today. Seven Stones, Fee, Greer Vineyards, Perlis Vineyards, and many others. Bernard Magret, Napa Valley.
You, sir, get around.
St. Helena Winery.
You could go on.
I could go on, yes. Go to pottwine.com. That's pot with 2 T's.
Aaron, good seeing you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
Interesting start to the day. I don't know if you saw the snow in the hills of Napa today.
How could you not? It was so weird.
Which is great Cabernet drinking weather, right? So we're hoping that will bode very well for Premier Napa Valley. So our auction lot is a first time that I blended our 2 top hillsides at Chimney Rock. So Cardiac Hill, Alpine Vineyard, 100% Cab. The north part is a little riper and Alpine's a little bit more savory, and they made a great blend. So really excited about it. We're doing 5 cases. www.chimneyrock.com.
Good seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you. Great to see you. Welcome back.
Doing well. This is a fun event. This is I've been part of the premiere for a few years, but between COVID and the fires, this is my first actual in-person premiere tasting. So I'm having a blast. The winery started in a warehouse in West Bend, Wisconsin, using California grapes, and we soon realized that wasn't the best business model, and we moved out here, and now we've been out here since 2017, so for quite a while, and now make almost 3,000 cases of not just Napa wines, but some Sonoma and Santa Barbara County wines as well. 2021 vintage is pretty fantastic. And so I haven't quite made my way around to as many places I want to yet, but the wines I've tasted are really, really great. This is a blend of 4 different vineyards that I source from. It's an equal part 25% blend of the Rocky Ridge Vineyard on Howell Mountain, Branding Iron in Oakville, Ghost Block in Yountville, and Stagecoach Vineyard. 75% New French Oak. It's just like I said, I'm pretty happy with all my 21 wines. This is a really easy blend to come up with, and I'm proud of it. It's sort of showing its stuff. So, www.stringerscellars.com.
Excellent. Casey, thanks. Good catching up with you again.
Good to see you, Ray. That's a blast from the past. It's fun. Yeah,
man. Thank you.
Once again, the only Zinfandel, yes. But I'm in a most marvelous corner. We're like the anything but Cabernet corner with Riesling and the most amazing Chardonnay, Riesling from Trefethen, Chardonnay from Tourneau, and so I feel right at home. It's like great. It is estate, dry farmed, 2021. Just as Zinfandel, it rocks. You know, I pick about 5 different times. I pick for the rosé, and then I start picking for slowly but surely up the slope for my estate Zin, red Zin, and this is a blend of 3 different parts of that pick, of those picks. So marching up the slope, just all with a little different, but they're all open top fermented. A lot of natural ferment, and I don't crush any Zinfandel, so everything is hand macerated. You know, I discovered a long time ago that I love just a little bit of intraberry fermentation that happens. So there's always just a little bit of what, when we're all done hand punching down at the end of the vintage, still a few whole berries. It's like popping, and just, you know, an instant sort of incredible rush of character, but that goes into the press too, so that gives it just a little extra zing, and this is true of this year. www.tres sabores, 3 flavors.
You can't get away without talking about that. Julie, good seeing you.
Thank you so much. Always welcome at the vineyard.
Thank you very much.
We have 2 new baby goats.
You know, I think there's a lot of excitement about the 2021 vintage in particular. I know so many of these vintners, and talking to them, it's always fun to catch up. Yes, the buzz is good about the vintage. This is, we call it the Centennial. So I've had 48 years in the Napa Valley as a vintner. Andy Beckstoffer's at 52. That adds up to 100. So between Andy and I, we decided to do a Tokalon wine and call it the Centennial, and that's what we're offering.
Well, for our listeners who'd like to learn about you, Tor, and learn about your new book that came out fairly recently, yes. What is your website?
Go to torwines.com. It's a good adventure. I recommend it.
So our auction lot this year is called the Henry, and it's honoring the 6 generations of winemaking in our family, and Henry is the first boy of the 6th generation. And so we're blending 6 appellations, so from Coombsville all the way to Calistoga, and it's a blend of those, sort of honoring the different vibrancy and different aspects and characteristics of our valley, just like our family. It has to be different year to year, but it's funny when the question comes, just each time there seems something sort of comes to the fore that makes sense, and it wasn't difficult this year. It was actually really fun to put together. FlailVineyards.com.
It's easy.
It's easy. Love to have anyone visit that is interested.
Great. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Always good to catch up with Sarah Fowler, winemaker at Pays. How are you, Sarah?
I'm super duper, Ray. Thanks so much.
You look fabulous and very sparkly today.
That's true. We're having a red carpet event at the Rutherford Dust Society tasting today, so I had to gussy up a little bit.
And the best part is you got bib overalls, you got this kind of velvety coat, and you've got sparkly silver, and you're hanging out with a guy who's in shorts.
That's right. Well, you know, sparkle fun is what we do here at the Rutherford Dust and for Premier Napa Valley. Okay, we have it's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from our Oak Knoll property, 100% new oak, 100% made with love, and so it's a really delightful, delicious wine, and super happy to have it here. Well, you can see us at the World Wide Web. I don't know, do we still say that anymore? I'm like at pageyou.com. Cheers, and thank you so much for stopping by.
We have our 2020, which is a Blanc de Blanc, and so far it's spent 2 years on tirage. The idea is going to spend another 12 months, so it'll be a total of 36 months on tirage. At the moment, it's zero dosage, which means we have not done any disgorging on it, and I think it's tasting fantastic. Originally, I'm from the UK, so I started my sort of wine career working as an independent fine wine merchant in central London, and sort of slowly started getting into the sort of production side of things, spending harvests down in the south of France, and then I moved out to Australia, New Zealand, and gradually the production side became more of my life, and that's what I wanted my career to be. I wanted to get my hands dirty and actually make the wine, rather than just sell it. Our website, PAULA, is www.paula. What is our website? PAULA KORNELL. You can Google it.
Paula is standing just off to Robin's left, so everybody knows. There we go.
I'm pretty happy about how it got tasted and the comment that the people were giving back to us. So it's 100% Cabernet Sauvignon from Charles Valley AVA district. We have about 150 acres planted up there at MAXVILLE Winery. And then we did an estate vineyard that we fermented in barrel. So all open top fermentation, and then after that we aged it in 100% French oak and about 60% new. We're going to bottle that in July. What I like about this is basically the time it takes in the morning for the weather to warm up. So we have pretty good cold weather, which keeps the acidity on the wine, and yet we're able to get very, very good tannins and a lot of it to make the wine as smooth as possible, keeping a fresh fruit note and keeping a great acidity.
You're really good at this.
Thank you. So it's MaxVilleLakeWines.com.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Good seeing you again.
Thank you. Oh, likewise. Sorry.
I almost missed him today, but I didn't. Here is Jean-Charles Boisset. Jean-Charles, how are you?
Ray, so fabulous to see you as old time. We have two Chateau Buena Vista, the oldest winery in the history of California, who founded Sonoma and Napa, so we have an incredible lot of a Cabernet that is going to be exceptional. I'm actually tasting it right now. You could see Buena Vista Winery, and this is this phenomenal 10 cases, and as you can see, I get so excited, I even break glasses today. So Buena Vista, Hillside, and Floor, and we have as well Raymond, which is really an iconic, phenomenal winery in the heart of Napa Valley, produced by Stephanie Putnam. That is as well a 10-case lot as well. So 2 lots from our wineries. Boisset Collection, BOISSET collection.com, or buenavistawinery.com or raymondvineyards.com. Those are 3 examples where you can find us, and with Ray, because we do a lot of things together.
My lot number is lot number 6. We're presenting for the first time an estate Cabernet from our vineyard in Carneros. The highest ridges of our property are within Mount Vida boundary, so we decided to plant some Cabernet up there. So we were really, really excited with the quality of the lot. Obviously 2021, I think, in my opinion, one of the best vintages overall in the past 10 years. Really, really sound, great concentration, great balance, very elegant, and sometimes you have varieties that shine more than others in this particular vintage, but I feel 2021 was very encompassing. Like all varieties, all wine styles shine in a really beautiful way. This was more of a trial. We wanted to see how Cabernet did up there. In this case, it's planted above about 460 feet of elevation, so mountain high for Carneros.
Oh, right.
And we were a bit worried how the vines would do with the winds, very intense winds we have, especially particularly in that area of the vineyard, but the vines have really endured, and we're very happily surprised with the quality, and actually thinking of expanding our Cabernet program in the vineyard. www.artesowinery.com.
Thanks very much for taking a moment, Anna. Good seeing you.
Nice to see you too.
Good to be with you. Thanks for being here at Premier Napa Valley. The energy is positive, lots of enthusiasm from around the country, to some degree from around the world as well. So it's exciting. You know, this Premier Napa auction has been going on for 25 plus years at this stage. We have 2 lots today. The Davies lot is from our estate on Diamond Mountain. So the J. Davies estate, Diamond Mountain Cabernet. We've been producing Cabernet from our estate vineyard since 2001. And so today we had a 2021, 21st vintage, and then we call it the Tres Bloques, the 3 blocks, a blend, delicious wine, right? So we had 3 lots of Cabernet, 100% Cabernet in the blend, all new French oak barrels, so pretty intense, flavorful wine. Schramsberg.com would be the easiest, so SCHRAMSBERG.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking the time, sir. I appreciate it.
Hey, good to be here.
We're number 2 because we're Alpha Omega, and I love they do it in alphabetical order. But we got a blend of our 50-50 of our Sunshine Vineyard and our Sleeping Lady. It really is one of the best wines I think we've ever made.
So what's the vibe? What are you feeling today?
It's all good. It's that, you know, we've missed this for a few years. It's really good. I think it's going to go well. AOWinery.com, I'm guessing. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. Or you can just write to me, Robin at AOWinery.com.
So Ray, this is the end of the barrel tasting. We have a few tastings going on in the valley, and we're going to raise a lot of money for Napa Valley. And this is the one and only place in the world producing some of the best wines, best producer, most fun, most exciting, most exhilarating. So everybody ought to drink Napa Valley Cabernet.
4,000, 5,000, 5,000, 6,000, 6,000, sorry, 6,000 further back. Do you want to say 7? Against you, 33. It's panel number 181 at $12,000. We're selling at 12. Last chance of fair warning at $12,000. You bidding? Sorry, at 22,000. At $22,000 with the original bidder at 22, and selling at 22, and sold at $22,000. 2 panel number.
Voila, voila. Thank you.